In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brake hose on your Hyundai Accent. It's located behind your wheel. Using a 21mm socket, I'm going to take off the front wheel. For the brakes on your vehicle, you're going to want to press your brake pedal down inside and use a pry bar to hold it down. That way when you disconnect any of the hydraulics, the brake fluid will come out a little bit, but not the entire master cylinder full of fluid. Okay, using a 12mm socket, we're going to take the bolt out of our brake hose. Make sure you have a catch pan underneath. So again, that will only drip for a little bit, but because of the brake pedal being pressed, it won't continue to run out. Once it's done, you can take that away from your caliper. All right, make sure you take off your washer. You'll get new ones with the new hose. And make sure it's not on the other side either. Okay, so now we are going to disconnect our hose bracket with a 12mm socket. Set that off to the side. Okay, using an 11mm line wrench, we are going to loosen up this brake line. Once you crack it loose, you can use a regular wrench to loosen it the rest of the way. Once you're loose, you can pull it right out. And now we're going to pull this bracket out with a screwdriver. All right, so now we can take our hose out. All right, before installing your brake hose, make sure your bracket here is lined up where it needs to be. Otherwise, you'll put your brake hose in backwards. Insert it up. Make sure your flat edges are where they belong. The bracket that it goes into will tell you which way to go. And then you can put your clip in. You might need a little hammer to hammer that in. Now you can thread your brake line in to the new hose. Now we can tighten our brake line into the hose. Once you snug that up, you can use your line wrench again to really tighten it down. All right, so now we're going to put our bracket back. All right, so now the last part is we're going to put our brake hose right here. First, let's put our washers on and make a brake hose sandwich. One washer there, you put it through, and one washer on the other side. Once you get that started, you're going to tighten it down, and then you're going to torque it to 20 foot-pounds. All right, now you can take your pry bar out or whatever you put between the brake pedal and the seat. And we're going to do a gravity bleed at that caliper. All right, so we're going to take our rubber cap off. Place it there so we don't forget to put it back. Use a 10mm wrench and do a gravity bleed. So loosen up your bleeder, make sure you have a drip pan below you. And you're gonna wait for the fluid to come out. You can see some air bubbles coming. All right, so once you see it coming out steady, you can tighten it up. Sometimes it takes a long time to get there. Actually, there's still an air bubble. All right, that looks good. Okay, now we can clean the area with some brake pads cleaner. Let that drip dry. Check your brake pedal. Make sure it's hard and at the top. If it feels squishy, you're gonna have to do a full brake bleed procedure. All right, make sure you put your rubber cap back on your bleeder. All right, we'll put our wheel on. Start our lug nuts by hand. Using a 21mm socket, we're going to tighten up our lug nuts in a crisscross manner. Going to walk the wheel on. We're going to torque our wheels to 80 foot-pounds. The specification is 65 to 80, and I'm going to go with the top. You're going to do this in a crisscross pattern. Okay, clean and inspect your cover. Take the cover off and take out your filter. Sometimes they're a little tough to get out, but after you take that out, we're going to siphon out the brake fluid. All right, so we are going to use our fluid extractor and siphon out our brake fluid as much as we can. And that seems to be all we can get out of there. All right, so now we want to top off our brake fluid. Make sure you fill it to the line. It says max. All right, so now we can put our cap back on. And we can start at our right rear, then go to our left front, left rear, and right front. Okay, so we are at our right rear. We are going to get a 10mm wrench. You're going to have someone in the vehicle pumping the brakes up, and then after they pump it up, we're going to loosen the bleeder. And it's to the floor. You're going to tighten the bleeder up. You're going to ask them to pump it up. Pump it up, please. He's holding it. So you open up the bleeder. It's to the floor. I close it. We're looking in the hose here for air bubbles. So we're going to need to keep doing it till I don't see air bubbles anymore. Pump it up. It's to the floor. Closing my bleeder. Pump it up one more time. And that's to the floor. All right, take your wrench off after you've tightened the bleeder. Remove your fluid catcher. Clean it off a little bit. Let that dry. And you can put your rubber cap back on. Now we're going to go to the left front. All right, now that we're halfway through, we've bled the right rear and the left front wheels. We're going to top off our fluids. It's always a good idea to check. And it looks like we do need some. So I'm going to put a little bit in, make sure it's at the max. Make sure you put your cap back on. And let's continue to the left rear. Now we're at the left rear. We're going to take this cap off. Set it off to the side. Put our fluid extractor tube on. Pump it up.
Holding.
He's holding. I'm going to open up that bleeder. Just to the floor. Pump it up.
Holding.
He's holding. To the floor. And tighten it up. Pump it up. He's holding. I'm opening. And it's to the floor. I'm going to do one more because I still see some air. Pump it up. To the floor. And now I'm going to snug this up and move on to our right front. First, we're going to clean this off. And we can put our cap back on. All right, so now we're done doing our left rear, right front. The brake bleed process should be done. So let's take our cap off and top it off one more time. Fill it up to max. Okay, so now we can put our cap back on. Now we can get in our vehicle. We're going to check our brake pedal, make sure it's nice and high and hard. If it doesn't feel good and it feels like squishy, you're going to have to bleed the brakes one more time because that means there's probably a problem or there's air in the system. If your brakes feel great, you're good to go. You can go for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.